Alright guys, how we doing today? We're just going to show you the updated Magplar build actually. For Wolfhunter, I'm going to run through this really quickly. I just burned 32 minutes. I went fucking 2 minutes over my recording time on my PlayStation. Doing a whole video for you guys, and like I said, first 2 minutes didn't show up because I'm only set for a half an hour. So I'm going to do this quick now because I got the attention span of a peanut, and I don't know when my girlfriend's going to be home, which means my house is about to get loud. So if I go through this a little quickly, please don't hesitate to ask any questions. I'll answer them as best as I can in the comment section. Let's start off with stat sheet. This is unbuffed, front bar. Once we have, well, I use inner light. This was part of the video I was making before, where I was talking about taking it off, comparing Argonian to Breton, but I'll get into that in a second. We're going to do all this quickly. Character sheet. This is what our front bar looks like. After continuous attack, fully buffed up, we are going to have over 3k spell damage on the stat sheet. So don't worry about that. We're going to have over 2800 magic recovery and over 1200 stam recovery. We are using Atronach Mundustone right now, so there is some wiggle room. There's actually a lot of wiggle room with this build. One of the sets I'm using is very versatile. Atronach Mundustone, Clockwork Food. Let's get into the sets. Fortified Brass is the first set we're running. We had to replace Wizard's Riposte with the nerf this update. This set is just as tanky, but it looks shit on stat sheet. What makes this set good are light armor passives. It is going to outweigh any heavy armor set for that reason alone. It's going to give us an extra 12% magic recovery provided we're wearing 5 heavy, 2 light. It's going to give us an extra 6% cost reduction, once again provided we're wearing 5 heavy, 2 light. Slight spell resistances, that obviously wouldn't come into effect. That doesn't matter, we'd be wearing heavy armor anyways. That extra 10% critical rating. And all that penetration. That penetration is more than a spinner. So pretty much if you look at this set, you're getting a spinner bonus, you're getting a shit ton of recovery, 12%, and then you're getting pretty much a free seducer along with it too. Provided you're not using the maximum undaunted passives, you know. So light armor is the way to go if you want to do damage. Especially wearing scoria and shit. I think my girlfriend just walked in, guys. She did. 1 second, I'm gonna tell her to calm down for me. Babe, I'm just doing a video real quick. Sorry. Just gonna have to be real quick, guys. Fuck, man. I'm sorry, guys. I don't ever have time to do this shit at my house. It's so hectic when you have a family and stuff. So we're doing sets. Fortified Brass, like I said, light armor passives are what make the set great. We want one Nirnhound. Infused is OP as shit. Unfortunately, we're not using any class abilities, and we're not really light and heavy attacking. We do once in a while, but it's not as consistent as the Destro staff. So we want our Nirnhound sharpened offhand, because penetration is a beautiful thing. My next choice would be Precise. Precise just because of the crit damage for being a Templar, CP, and that stuff, yeah. Fortified Brass, powered, 4.5. This is our healing bar, really. We don't do any damage on that, so defending is shit with the one hand anyways. Sturdy shield, because our stand pool ain't the greatest. And we're always blocking and BOLing. I used drain magic poisons. Every build uses magic. And since we don't have a staff, if shit hits the fan, you know, kind of need that. So yeah. Developing Scoria. We are using Undaunted Passes. Fortified Brass is craftable. Heavy chest, medium legs. You want 2 high Kijos to make up for the Wizard's Reposit health. I did anyways. I want to sit at 20k health on my front bar just so I can take some damage. And then the next set is Amber Plasm. Gives us the best stat sheet return. And a lot of magic recovery, a crit, max magic, and a damage. We just turn that max magic into health and stamina pretty much using the tri-stack glyphs. This is the thing with health too. So if you're going to take anything out of attribute points and stuff like that, because you want more health, always go with tri-stats first. You're going to get free stamina off of it, and it's the same takeaway. If you're to trade off one max magic and turn that into an health, you know, it's no different than taking off 2 health or 2 max magics and throwing 3 tribune on. You're losing the same amount of max magic, gaining the exact same amount of health, and you're getting free stamina. So if you're ever putting health into anything, tri-stats are always first. Once you're tri-statted out, then you start worrying about attributes and that shit. So yeah, we wanted that 25k health. We wanted that to turn that, you know, magic passive into a health essentially, so we threw on 2 high key Joes. 1 magic recovery, 2 spell damage. The sweet thing about Amberplasm and why I say it's the best stat sheet or best stat return on paper is because of how versatile it is. As I showed you guys before, we were using Atronach Mundus Stone, but if I were to switch that right now to Apprentice Mundus Stone, that'd be Amberplasm essentially giving me a max magic, a spell crit, a spell damage, and then 238 extra spell damage. So that's like 260 or 365 spell damage, a crit, and a max magic. That hits harder than Julianos, and I'm trading off, you know, 4 or 5% crit for 250 stamina recovery, and I'm getting an extra 70 spell damage on top of that to kind of make up the damage aspect. Health right there. If you know you want more health per se, you know, you could technically turn that off. I wouldn't trade my apprentice for a health Mundus, but you could if you wanted to. Like I said, tri-stats always first, penetration, whatever you want, you know, you can switch out your Mundus on the end. What that did is let me take off my my Atronach, though I haven't done it yet because I just haven't done it yet. And I like having all that recovery for 2 reasons. Just to go back and forth to BGs and CP, don't have to change shit. You guys see it's putting out great numbers still, and it's good. I like it the way it is. You go down to about 1800 magic recovery. With the changes to channel focus, you'd still be able to sustain. It's nice to have all that recovery. So it's fortified brass, Amberplasm, 2 spell damage, and a magic recovery. I showed the traits on everything. Skills, extended ritual. Now with the nerf to all those sets like Resist Reposit and Durox Bane and all this, the other morph might be good, but still, 5 harmful effects is really nice. If you got multiple people on you and you're only cleansing 2 at a time, you're not gonna drop those snares and shit essentially. You might get that damage, and if you do run into somebody still running Fasalas and stuff like that, you know, even if they did nerf the set, if they're standing in the circle, it still is technically reprocking it, so. Yeah. Structured entropy because the other morph we're not letting attacking. We have no weapon damage or stand pool. So the heal from the light and heavy attacks does nothing. Might as well get the extra health. Channeled focus. The other morph costs twice as much, but gives you minor protection, which we are getting from our ultimate. So I'd rather take the extra 480 magic recovery. Also, changes to this, they vamped it up a lot. When you're standing out of your circle now, you see it doesn't drop after 8 seconds. And you get an extra about 2600 physical and spell resistance now for standing in it. As you see on this bar, we're over capped for spell resistance. And we were touching almost 29k physical. Obviously there's more room, even though I'm over capped for spell, there's always more room. Because unfortunately light armor has so much penetration that everybody in light armor is walking around with at least 7k. If you're using a destro staff and all that. So even though I'm over cap, as soon as penetration kicks in, you know I'm under cap anyway. So there's wiggle room. If you wanted to change off Scoria for, you know, Pyre Skeleton or something like that. I was playing around with Desert Rose, 1 Pirate Skeleton, 1 Chuden. I was touching 36k physical resistance-ish, maybe slightly under that. And either way, I had like 45k spell resistance. It was fucking hilarious. In light armor. So that's pretty cool. So there's options. You can take off score, you do damage. So channeled focus, vamped, elusive mist for solo play, and Cyrodiil for group play, or BGs. You want race against time. BGs, you can't hold a ball or carry a flag and mist, unfortunately. So that means you'll have no mobility if you're using mist and rely on mist. So, well, that's yellows being cool. Thank you. If you end up watching this video, Mr. Take a Leader 69, thank you, because I'm doing a video right now. Yeah, can't carry a ball or anything while misting. So when you sprint and you run for 3 seconds, it doesn't really cost much to run anyways because of the 50% cost reduction from race against time, even in no CP. So that's what you'd run for no CP. You want to be able to get around the board fast and efficiently. On or dead, because I'm selfish and a douchebag. BOL if you're running with a group, obviously. Temporal Guard, I drop Sword and Board Alt, it's nice, but I don't use it too often, and I'd rather have that minor protection slotted at all times. And that's the thing too with the channeled focus, the other morph costs twice as much, and I really only get it on the front bar unless I was using Sword and Board Alt. There's times where you guys will see me use this to get away from people. Front bar, toppling charge, radiant oppression, got vamped this update, bigger multiplier. As you see in BGs now, you just really gotta throw it at them and it purify and it'll drop people. It's pretty nice. Inner light, because Templars thrive off of crit damage, extra max mag to even at the sword and board bar. Puncturing sweep, purifying light for 2 reasons. Shit ton of damage, just 22k sitting stealth, and look at that heal, boys. It's like an extra 1500 magic recovery or health recovery, you know, every 2 seconds. Half of that's coming back. It's good to have. This is open. I run Dawnbreaker or Smiting because when I hit a score proc, you can drop a big burst. Fortunately, it does miss sometimes, even when they're standing right the fuck in front of you. Shooting Star doesn't miss, gives us more max magic, but all the good players block it, unfortunately. So there's no winning, no perfect ultimate. Light armor. We do have undaunted passes. We are a vampire. Undaunted. Breton versus Argonian. Quick rundown on this. I like the tankiness for being a Breton. The extra max health from being an Argonian and the pot passive is nice, but the 3% cost reduction is nicer. You're only getting the most out of that pot passive if you're hitting that every 45 seconds. Unfortunately, the stamina you get from that pot passive is not enough to drop a tripod, and I never play with builds big enough of a stam pool to get that in a tripod bonus. Not even just that, is when you go to that's the reason why the inner light was taken off, actually. Is this what I was getting into? Is if you're to run my build as an Argonian right now, you make a couple minor changes, to be honest, but just say you're running it right now. As an Argonian, you'd only have 34k max magic, you know, where I've got over 36, so there's that 2k wiggle room. I could take a k out of that max magic and put it in the health. Yeah, it's like I'm getting 10% more max health, blah blah blah, but you're 10% multiplying nothing as a Magplar. All of our glyphs are max magic anyways. We have 2 tries, but everything's max magic. We're getting a better multiplication for magic than we are for health. So yeah, you're getting 10% more health, but you're multiplying it by fucking 10% by nothing. You're not getting the most out of the Argonian pass. It's not even just that. It's when I take my, you know, 2k out of max magic, my 1500 health per se, because I have multipliers that are gonna give me some back. I wouldn't take 2k out to make that up. I'd only take like 1500 on daunted passes, being Brent and all that shit, to bring it to about 15, or to bring it to about the 2k mark. And I'd put that in the health, and I'd get that as free stamina too. I prefer the cost reduction by 3% way over Pod passive is constantly up, and especially missing when you have no recovery and shit like that. When you run out of juice, you know, you're waiting for a pod for every 45 seconds. And yeah, you might see me pod per pod every 45 seconds and everything, but I don't want to rely on pods. I want to be able to play it. So you see me playing in a fight for 18 minutes straight and stuff like that. So yeah, for me and Argonian, I would not get the most out of it for my play style. So I take the tankiness to beat a Breton. Champion points. 56 in the Warlord, 11 in the Bashing Focus, 27 into Mooncalf, 75 in the Arcanist, 40 in the Tumbling, 51 in the Shadow Ward. I went only 27 into Stam Recovery because I found when I jammed it up and put like 75 points into it that all of my shit was costing so much, so I'd rather have straight mitigation from break free, blocking, all that stuff than that extra little bit of Stam Recovery. The other reason why I don't need to be an Argonian is this passive, or this champion point tree. I'm getting 9% here, and then I'm getting even more on the red tree, you'll see after. But 37 in the Blessed, 51 in the Elfborn, between accelerated, that Cedric skill, Templar passive CP, we're getting crazy crit multipliers. This scale's shitty, so we only have 43 into there. 19 in the Spell Erosion. Master at Arms, 44. Radiant Impression is both direct and dot damage. It procs Chlorians and it procs Scoria. I haven't had the chance to test. I don't know if Sweeps is working the same way, because unfortunately it doesn't proc Chlorians. So when I tested Chlorians on Magplar, Radiant was procking it and Scoria. So we at least know that. All our burst damage, Scoria, Dawnbreaker, Topple, Purifying Initial Hit, all that. Then 66 in the Thaumaturge, because we still are primarily dot build. 66 in the Ironclad, 48 in the Resistant, only 11 in Thick Skin. The only dot that's really going to affect us having extended Ritual is going to be a Soul Assault, which is kind of, then anyways, you're blocking and you're tanky as fuck. We have such a high spell resistance. 43 in the Hardy, 43 in the Elemental Defender. I wanted to put more into that, but honestly it's 6 points, 7 points to the next 1% on each of them. I'd rather just have the high ass crit resistance. As you see, we're touching just under 3k. And then 49 in the Recovery, even though this is just a shit multiplier as the last things I was just talking about. At least that extra 1% healing received will work when I need to heal, opposed to me mitigating 1% of damage on either physical or spell, you know. So, and that is that. Sorry I had to break it down so quick. If I forgot anything, please leave any questions or comments in the comment section. I'll get back to you as best as I can. Like I said before, fully buffed out, you're going to have over 2,800 in magic recovery. You're going to have just under 2,500 spell damage on this bar, and you're going to have just over 3k on this bar. Stamina recovery will be 1,200, and yeah. I'm pretty sure I got it in everything. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy.